Halloween, a holiday of costumes, candy, and all things spooky. But what do you know of the history behind this beloved celebration? Its roots. How long has it been around? That's what we're going to be covering today. So let's begin. Over 2,000 years ago, the Celts celebrated Samhain. In regions now known as Ireland, the United Kingdom, and northern France, this celebration marked the harvest to winter transition. The boundary between the physical and spirit worlds grew thin. Bonfires, communal celebrations, and disguises were central, laying the foundation for Halloween's connection to the supernatural, where people embraced the playful and eerie aspects of the unknown.
Light our fires on Samhain night, pluck the lady goddess fair, come
rekindling
to
the
us on
flames of a tradition
Frosthill
which died
Day.
out centuries ago.
Now, we all know what happens when Romans step into the scene. In the 1st century AD, the Roman Empire expanded into these Celtic regions where Samhain was celebrated. The Romans have always had views that the Celts were barbarians, delved in magic, and were the ultimate enemy for their empire. They eventually invaded the lands through battles such as the Roman Gallic Wars. Roman traditions like Fesilyan, honoring the deceased, combined with the Roman tradition of Pomona, dedicated to the goddess of fruit and celebrated around November 1st, brought context to Halloween customs involving fruits and apples, like bobbing for apples and the iconic pumpkin. These Roman elements blended with Samhain's Celtic roots to shape the Halloween we know today. Fast forward to the 10th century, and we find a pivotal moment in the history of Halloween when the Roman Catholic Church sought to Christianize the traditions of Samhain. The Catholic Church established November 1st as All Saints' Day, a day dedicated to honoring all the saints of the church. And All Souls' Day on November 2nd was a day dedicated to honoring the deceased. It's widely believed that the church's intent was to provide a Christian substitute for the Celtic festival of the dead. Clearly, an attempt to provide a Christian alternative to the pagan celebrations of Samhain, which were most definitely not in alignment of the church's views. All Saints' Day and All Souls' Day were established, blending with the Celtic festival and giving rise to Halloween. Samhain became known as All Hallows' Eve and eventually Halloween. So, over the course of many centuries, these three holidays, All Saints' Day, All Souls' Day, and Samhain, essentially merged into one, giving birth to the Halloween we know today. It's also important to note that the Catholic Church still recognizes and observes All Saints' Day and All Souls' Day, while some contemporary practitioners, such as Wiccans and Celtic Reconstructionists, continue to commemorate Samhain. During the Middle Ages, two integral Halloween traditions emerged, setting the stage for the holiday as we know it today. Firstly, souling was a practice that originated during the Middle Ages and laid the groundwork for modern-day trick-or-treating. It began as a humble tradition during the observance of All Saints' Day and All Souls' Day, where impoverished individuals visited the homes of the more affluent, receiving soul cakes in exchange for prayers for the homeowner's deceased loved ones. Over time, This evolved into door-to-door souling, with children and the less fortunate offering songs and prayers in exchange for treats, a precursor to modern-day trick-or-treating. And secondly, as souling evolved, so did the custom of wearing costumes and disguises. People during the Middle Ages began to dress as supernatural beings, animals, or figures related to death. This practice drew inspiration from earlier Celtic customs of wearing disguises during Samhain to ward off malevolent spirits. And these costumes paid homage to the ancient traditions and reinforced a connection between the living and the deceased. The combination of souling and costumes not only introduced the concept of receiving treats during Halloween, but also added an element of playfulness and mystery to the holiday. So this is where it began, in the Middle Ages. This time period contributed to the evolution of Halloween, laying the foundations for modern trick-or-treating and the wearing of costumes. I wonder if the Renaissance period had a hand in this. In America, Halloween took on a unique character, shifting from religious observance to community gatherings and social activities. The blending of cultural influences was a key factor in Americanizing Halloween. Native American, German, and English traditions intertwined with existing Halloween customs, creating a distinctly American version. By the late 19th century, Halloween in America was synonymous with parties, games, and all-age activities. Communities hosted grand Halloween events with decorations, costumes, and treats. It retained superstitions like fortune-telling games, while also embracing the festive spirit. This era marked a significant shift, separating Halloween from its Christian roots. While All Saints' Day and All Souls' Day remained in Christian observance, Halloween became a secular holiday, focused on fun, community, and celebrating the strange and supernatural. Halloween arrived in North America through Irish and Scottish immigrants who brought their traditions to the New World. In the American cultural melting pot, Halloween evolved further from its Celtic and Roman origins. And the legend of Stingy Jack added an extra layer of mystery. As Halloween evolved in the 19th century America, the legend of Stingy Jack, a crafty and cunning character who played tricks on both the living and the dead, earned his nickname and his legend. In this version of the tale, on one Halloween night, Jack's encounter with the devil unfolded. One evening, Satan overheard tales of the horrible deeds of Jack and decided he must have his soul. And when Satan came to collect his soul, he successfully made the case that the least Satan could do was allow him to have a final drink at his favorite pub. After which, Stingy Jack left Satan on the hook for the tab. Jack suggested he turn himself into a coin to pay the bill, and they would be off on their journey to the underworld. Satan was fooled when Jack took the coin and put it into his pocket alongside a crucifix, thereby trapping Satan in his pocket. The devil begged and pleaded, and only upon agreeing to leave Jack alone for 10 years was he released. Now exactly 10 years later, Satan found Jack stumbling home from the pub. With a heavy sigh, Jack looked at the devil, knowing full well that he intended to drag him to hell. Jack then made the request of Satan to climb a nearby apple tree to get him a final snack to eat before the journey to hell. Satan, apparently still not as clever as Jack, climbed the apple tree. While Satan was climbing the tree, Jack carved a cross into the trunk, thereby trapping Satan while he was in the tree. The devil begged and pleaded, and only upon agreeing to never take Jack's soul to hell was he released. And so many years later, when Stingy Jack took his final breath and died, St. Peter refused him entrance into heaven for all of his evil deeds. As Jack turned to the gates of hell as an alternative, roaming the abyss was not something any soul wanted to do. But, true to his word, Satan refused him entrance into hell due to their contract, leaving Jack to wander the dark for eternity. In one final parting gift, Satan gave Jack an ember ablaze with hellfire. Jack was stuck roaming the earth forever, with only a carved turnip glowing with hellfire to light his way. When Stingy Jack ceased to be, that's when Jack-o'-lantern began. On Halloween night, keep an eye out for a restless, wandering soul every time you see a jack-o'-lantern, for it may just be the hellfire glow from Jack's lantern. The legend of Stingy Jack adds an extra layer of mystery to Halloween. It embodies the holiday spirit, mischievous, spooky, and full of surprises, reminding us that Halloween is more than fun and festivities. It's a tapestry of cleverness, trickery, and the afterlife, enriching Halloween's history. Trick-or-treating brought a lot of issues to America because of its roots. It involved a lot of pranks and jokes on people by children and young adults. So before it evolved into a secular holiday focused on community, fun, and the supernatural, it needed to be a more safe and profitable source of entertainment. Hence the invention of modern-day trick-or-treating. A practice with roots from the medieval souling custom that we talked over earlier. Children began visiting homes in their neighborhoods, donning costumes, and requesting treats in exchange for not playing pranks on homeowners. This practice offered a structured and safer way for children to participate in Halloween, eventually becoming a beloved tradition by the 1930s and 40s, fostering unity and goodwill among communities. In the early 20th century, Halloween saw the popularization of one of its most iconic traditions, trick-or-treating, and a significant impact on the holiday's unique combination of traditions, costumes, and spooky themes made it a source of inspiration for literature, music, and film. Halloween-themed literature, works like Washington Irving's The Legend of the Sleepy Hollow, Edgar Allan Poe's story, these all became intrinsic to the holiday's literary tradition. These supernatural and macabre tales enrich Halloween's thematic depth. In music, songs like Monster Mash and Thriller emerged, becoming Halloween classics. They continue to set the tone for the season with their eerie melodies. Halloween's influence extends to the film and television industry as well. Horror films featuring iconic monsters like Dracula and Frankenstein became instant cult classics. The Halloween film franchise, featuring Michael Myers, captivated many fans across the globe as well. And as Halloween adapts to diverse cultures and evolves, it remains a dynamic and cherished celebration that unites people in their love for the mysterious, supernatural, and imaginative. Today, Halloween has transformed into a worldwide celebration, transcending its Celtic, Roman, Christian, and American origins. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry in the United States. Mexico celebrates Halloween as Dia de los Muertos, a Day of the Dead, a vibrant tradition honoring deceased loved ones with ofrendas, sugar skulls, and marigold flowers. And even in Asia, Halloween has found favor, particularly in Japan and South Korea, where the focus is on embracing the spooky and cute aspects of the holiday, featuring costumes and themed merchandise. So in essence, Halloween's history reflects an amazing journey from its roots and ancient Celtic traditions. Then its Roman influence, Christianization, the Middle Ages when the tradition of wearing costumes began to rise again, and the evolution into having legends like Stingy Jack, Mr. Jack-o'-lantern himself, appear. And the American culture influencing the tradition of playing jokes and pulling pranks on people, getting the community involved to help create a peaceful holiday economy that will be great for business. And aside from the Halloween related legends that I've covered in an earlier video, Halloween, for the most part, has become a relatively safe holiday. An ancient 2,000-year-old Celtic tradition that has survived the test of time. I appreciate you guys for coming back to watch my videos, and if you're new, thanks for joining. Please tell me what you guys think I should cover next down below. Please like and subscribe, and happy Halloween, everyone.
It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! In the name of God, now I know what it feels like to be God.